Come on. There's not a lot of things I know, but one thing I do know is it's another beautiful day in Indy.
Except we're not in Indy.
What's going on, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Klaudless in Indy. I'm Klaudless, and today I'm in Purdue, in West Lafayette. Look at that. Unfortunately, I thought I had a plan when I came here today, but I don't. So we're gonna start our day off at the Tap Brewery, at the Purdue location, of course, and then we're gonna go from there. So I will see you guys at the brewery.
What's going on, you guys? This is Editor Christian here. I just want to let you know that my last video should have been the 5K walk at Geist, where I'm reviewing the Castle Brave 7 action cameras. And you'll notice, I think as I said in the video, that there is a discrepancy between the two. In this particular video, I am using my action camera, the one where I did the firmware update. Biggest mistake. If you have the camera, check the firmware. If it says 09 September, then that should be solid. Do not upgrade to the December, the latest firmware update. Yeah, so the quality may not be the greatest in this video, and I'll do the best I can, but in some parts I may have to do some voiceovers, and that's just going to be it. But I hope you guys enjoy this video, so let's get back to it.
Also, real quick, totally forgot to mention, so I'm actually staying at the Union Club Hotel, which is, I think, managed by Marriott on the campus. This is my first time ever being inside of the hotel, inside of that building on the Purdue campus. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to set my camera in my baby cart. You already know I have Autumn with me. She's being real chill. And then we're going to go ahead and walk to our room, and then I want to show you guys the room. And then we're going to go to the Tap. Go ahead and do that there. So apparently, there is a whole cell block for the hotel, or I guess other buildings for wheelchair access. Hopefully no one asked about the camera. Alrighty, there it is. Here, okay. Alright. We went to the entrance before. Hopefully, Autumn doesn't try to play with the camera. Alright. Take a here. Back in. Okay. Oh. Yeah, it's really tight in here, you guys. Really tight. Going to the 4th floor. In there. Right. And see here. Alrighty, you guys, we made it. Alright, so I'm going to switch the camera to the other side, or at least my view to the other side so you guys can see this room here, and I'll give you guys a little tour. Okay, so I mean, first up, we're in this very tight, but very nice bathroom here. As you can see, we kind of already used it a little bit. Alright, yeah, very, very nice. Alright. Some of our stuff here. This is pretty much the room. It looks like I think that's a king-size bed. Might be a queen. No, I think this is king-size. Yeah. So it's got some Purdue stuff there. The fencing, some guy books. Got some Purdue football. Not sure who that is. If you guys know who that is, post it in the comment section there. Got the name there. Looks like G.W. Stacey or Lacey. And then, and yeah, here's the view from the hotel. When I first saw this window, I was like, wow, this is really cool. But unfortunately, they only go so high. So you can barely even stick your hand out the window. The AC unit, got an espresso machine, like a really tiny one. Got a little fridge in there. TV. Got a little closet or wardrobe here. The little safe at the bottom. Pretty cool. And also, I noticed something. Like this logo here. I'm not sure if this is new, but it's not one I've seen before. It says science, technology, agriculture. I thought that was pretty cool and interesting. So, and yeah, we got a little bench here, chair, and that's pretty much the room tour. But I mean, this room is really nice. Apparently, though, it's pretty pricey to stay here. There's, I want to say there's a bar here, the bistro. I think there's like a few bistros in here, actually. There's an eyeglass place. There's a Fidelity, a Purdue Federal, I think. Pretty much a bank. So, I mean, lots of things that the students need here. So I think that's it for now for the hotel. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get any more footage. There are a lot of students here, so I personally feel like really uncomfortable. Like it's just, filming. It's just openly. The students are trying to get on about their day. So I'm probably not going to do any filming on campus for the most part. I mean, this is pretty much the extent of it. So let's just go down to the Tap. I'm thinking about possibly checking out some cafes, maybe some parks, maybe even going back to downtown Lafayette. But it's still pretty early. I mean, it's 12 o'clock, and a lot of the breweries, unfortunately, don't open until either like 1 or 3. And I really don't have that much time in the day, and I'm pretty much walking everywhere. That was kind of the goal. As far as like the places I wanted to go, they had to be within reasonable walking distance. Although there's one brewery called Brokerage Brewing, and in West Lafayette, and I will have to drive there. So I'll try my best to make a stop there. We'll have a beer or two, or a flight, and we'll do a beer review similar to my my first downtown Lafayette mini tour, which I'll put a link to that video in the description. The video is an hour and a half long, so grab some popcorn. But I do have chapters in the video, so you can skip all the stuff you don't care about and go right to the beer reviews if that's what you care about. But with that being said, let's go on our walk. I'm gonna have the camera on, but mainly facing me, like how I just did it. And on my way to Tapped. So hopefully it looks good. So see you guys there. Alrighty, you guys, we have made it to the Tapped Brewery. At the Purdue location. Now, there is most likely going to be copyrighted music in this video, and so if this video is voiced over, which most likely it is, do not be surprised. And yeah, this is probably going to be my first time trying to do it like this, but yeah. So let me show you guys where I'm at. I'm actually outside. Let me see if I can, you guys. So let me do a 360 here. So, a little 360. You guys probably already know the location. Alrighty. And I'm gonna turn the camera around. I'm shooting on my action camera right now, so the quality isn't going to be as good as on my phone. So we're going to switch to the other view, or yes, we're going to switch to the other view so I can show you guys the beers that I got, as well as the beers that are currently on the menu. I decided to get a flight, so we're going to do a quick review and then decide where to go from there. Alright, you guys, so here are the 4 beers that I got here. Starting from left to right, we have the Tapenator, we have the Professional Lover, we have the Beardliner, or Beardliner, I guess kind of like the Beardliner of ice, I'm not 100% sure. And then we have the Brewberry Crunch. So first up, we're going to start with the Tapenator. Let me see if I can find it on the menu here. Alrighty, there we are. So the Tapenator is a traditional German dark lager. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Full of caramel notes, dark fruit, chocolate, and soft alcohol round out this full-bodied autumn beer. Coming in at 6.75% ABV. I think that's right. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's actually the price. Wow, this one's actually a strong one. It's coming in at 7.5% ABV, and it's going to be 25 IBUs. And I like that they have this chart here. Kind of this, I'm not sure what you would call that, but it looks like it's going to be on the medium colored side, and then it's going to be sweet. So we're looking at maybe sweet right there. So let's get into it. Wow, these are going to be like a million different shots here. All right. Okay. So as you guys can see here, we have the color. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but the beer is somewhat semi-transparent. I can indeed see my hands through the glass, and it's almost kind of like an amber colored. I mean, the chart does kind of show that. So, and we have a lot, well, not necessarily a lot, but I would say medium to low CO2 bubbles in the glass. Not a lot of head there, but I mean, it has been sitting here for maybe a good 10-15 minutes while I got set up. So we're just going to get right into the aroma. Very, very sweet on the nose. And I will admit that my nose is a little congested. And it doesn't help that it's a little chilly. Not too much, though. It's actually pretty nice out here. So my nose is wanting to run. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That is quite strong on the palate. This is probably the most traffic I've done a beer review with outside of work. Oh, wow, very malty, like a grainy malt. And it is, I would say it is actually pretty sweet. It almost reminds me of like a barrel-aged beer. Although the only, whoa, hello, that is a, that is a Yellow Jacket. It kind of reminds me of like a barrel-aged beer or a Belgian. You know, pretty much, like you can taste the high ABV in this beer. So it's very smooth. Not a lot of carbonation on the palate, but I would say that the sweetness for me is a little, I wouldn't say overwhelming, it's just, I wouldn't call it necessarily balanced. Right, you're getting that graininess plus this sweetness, but it's very interesting, just a lot going on with this beer. So I'm almost about to finish, actually. I mean, I can definitely see like dark fruits. Like I'm getting like maybe a plum. But I'm just not really liking the finish of this beer. I think that for the first, maybe second, it hits the palate. It's actually pretty tasty. Well, but as it lingers, it starts to get a little bit grainy, maybe slightly bitter. But I mean, this is a traditional German dark lager, and as we know, with lots of German beers, there does tend to be bitterness. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I just think that this particular beer is a little unbalanced. But you guys may like that. I mean, if you like that flavor profile that I just gave, and if you think that it meets the caramel, the dark fruit, the chocolate, and soft alcohol, round out this full-bodied beer, and it is full-bodied. Well, I mean, not full, I would say it's more medium-bodied. I would say, but all those flavors, I think that if I really focused enough, I can taste at least the dark fruits, like I said, the plum, and then like a rich chocolate. I think I can definitely taste that. And I want to say like what, maybe 80-85% cacao. I think that's definitely the chocolate I'm getting from this. So we're gonna move on to the next beer. I mean, yeah, we're gonna move on to the next beer. I personally wouldn't get a pint of this. I mean, it's enough to drink the sample size. I probably could drink like maybe a half pint, but I'm probably not gonna order this myself. But that's enough about this beer. Let's move on now to the professional lover. Alright, so we have the professional lover here. I'm not sure if this video is going to focus, but it's going to be a pink, medium to full bodied, and packed with flavors of raspberry, chocolate, and notes of coffee. That is a lot going on there. I'm very excited to try this one, especially with the raspberry, the chocolate, and the notes of coffee. I mean, I'm thinking about those chocolate pieces with the raspberry filling. Excuse me. That's what I think of when I hear that. We're looking at a fruited Imperial white stout. I absolutely love white stouts, or at least my experience with white stouts have been great. Let's see here, with an ABV of 9%, so now we're going higher, and an IBU of 22. And of course, this is going to be super light. Obviously, it's not going to be any of these colors, because it literally said it's going to be pink. And it's going to be on the sweet side. So yeah. Alright, we can see that there. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but this beer here it almost looks like, I'm not sure how it looks on this camera here. It's my first time shooting a beer review with this action camera, but it looks like grapefruit juice, like concentrated grapefruit juice. Like, if I didn't know any better. I mean, it even could look like, I'm gonna see like the juice I have at home, with some blueberry or blackberry, oh yeah, with some blackberry moonshine. So we're gonna turn this camera around and get right to the tasting. All right, you guys, here we are on the, oh wow, oh wow, oh wow. So I tell you what, the appearances of this beer are quite deceiving. I mean, the description that they gave, the raspberry and the chocolate, immediate on the nose. That's immediately what you smell when you smell this beer. Wow. And that candy, as I said before, I don't remember the name of the candy, but that's exactly what it reminds me of. Wow. Wow, that is surprisingly pretty light. As it said in the description, well, I mean, it says medium to full bodied, but I would say it's more light to medium bodied. Wow. Now, the coffee I'm not exactly so sure about, but the raspberry and the chocolate, hands down. That one, I think, so far, is my favorite one. I'm really, I don't know if these other two are going to be able to match up to the professional lover here, but that was really good. That was really good. And I would 100% get a pint of that. I probably would get a whole case if they had a case. Maybe even so much as a keg, actually. I probably would get a keg of this. Yeah, so I mean, that's a 10 out of 10 right there. Oh yeah. Yeah, but at 9%, I'm sure that this beer would absolutely sneak up on you. so that's the professional lover. All right, we're gonna move on to beer 3, which is gonna be the Beardliner, or the Beardliner. All right, you guys, here it is. Now this beer, which is coming in at 4% ABV, is actually going to be probably the most interesting out of all of them. And once we go to the menu here, you'll see why. So we have the Beardliner, or the Beardliner, a light-bodied German-style wheat beer with refreshing tart, acidic, and lemony characteristics. Blueberry, raspberry, and rotating seasonal syrups are available to add a burst of flavor. Alrighty, so there it is, a Berliner Weisse, as I suspected. ABV at 4% with an IBU of 2, so this should be very smooth. And of course, it's going to be at the very, very corner of our spectrum there. Excuse me. So it's going to be light and very sweet. So let's get on to the appearance of the beer. So you'll notice that there is some color there. I've had Berliner Weisses before, so this is kind of a new thing for me, like putting stuff into beer, even though the very first beer that I had, fun fact, was topped off or garnished with the raspberry framboise lambic, which to this day is my favorite adult beverage. So I tried to get raspberry in it, but unfortunately we're out of the raspberry, so I ended up going with the blueberry. So we're going to give that a try. But first off, you can see that this is very transparent, almost clear. I can literally see everything through the glass. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys can too as well. There's not a lot of CO2 bubbles going on in the glass there. But that colored hue that you see at the bottom of the glass, that is the blueberry syrup. So we're going to go ahead and give that a try. Let me switch the camera around. All right, you guys, we are back. Wow. I mean, I guess I technically couldn't do a proper beer review on this beer because there is technically blueberry syrup in it, and I don't know how that's going to affect the flavor of the beer. But on the nose, it's very sweet, obviously, as I expected. It's almost tart on the nose too. Smell the tartness, the acidity there. And surprisingly, despite that being what I got on the nose, it's not what it tastes like on the palate. It's actually very smooth on the palate, very sweet on the palate. I would say slightly sweeter than the Professional Lover. And this is a really easy drinking beer. I mean, if it was blazing hot outside, like what, when I came here, I think back in October, this is probably a beer that I would have gotten if I wasn't doing the whole Oktoberfest thing, right? Very easy drinking beer. You could probably knock back like 3 liters of this and and be buzzed. Wow, this is very good. Very, very smooth. Very light on the palate. It's such an easy finish. Wow. Wow. I'm going to definitely have to recommend 10 out of 10 for that one. We're buying the keg of that. But, as I said before, as I prefaced before, this does have the blueberry syrup in it, so this isn't a proper beer review, except it's with the blueberry syrup. So I highly recommend getting the Beardliner with the blueberry syrup. Alright, so we're going to move on to the 4th and final beer. Very exciting, very exciting. Let me switch the camera over. Alright, you guys, here we are with the Brewberry Crunch. Alright, we're going to go over to the menu and read the description here. So the Brewberry Crunch, American wheat ale, golden in color with medium to light body, packed with mixed berry and graham cracker flavors. Alright, so this is going to be categorized as an American wheat ale with an ABV of 4.9%. So we're going back up with an IBU of 18. And same with, for the most part, with the last 3 beers, it's going to be very light. It's at the very top of the spectrum there. And it's going to be pretty sweet all the way, just about. So let's see how this one compares to the Beardliner. Very excited. Alright, so we are back to the beer. Oh my god, wow, they actually put what looks like blueberries in the beer. Wow, okay. When they said packed with berry, mixed berry, I guess they meant literally, except it doesn't look mixed in there. It just looks like different sizes of blueberries. But wow, this is definitely a first for me when it comes to beer. Let's go on with the body. This is very hazy. I cannot see through the other side of the glass. I think I can see my finger, like at least the silhouette of my finger, but that's about it. So we're looking at, it almost looks kind of like a light orange, like a very light orange, maybe a tangerine. But it is golden. I think that's the best color to describe that. This is just a very golden color. As it says in the description, it is golden in color with medium to light body. So let's move on to the aroma and then we'll get on to the taste. Alrighty. Oh wow. Oh wow. I'm not gonna lie, so on the nose, this kind of reminded me a little bit of the Tapenator. That's not necessarily a bad thing, right? I mean, as we experienced with the Beardliner and the Beardliner, what you smell on the palate what you smell on the nose may not actually be what you taste on the palate. So let's see what we can smell here. I mean, I'm definitely getting raspberry. I'm getting chocolate. I mean, that's pretty much what I'm getting. And when I say chocolate, I mean cacao specifically. Like a really dark chocolate. I'm doing my best not to let the description, how do you say, kind of influence my
You know what I want to say? Because like the things that are coming to mind is Captain Crunch. But obviously Crunch is in the name, so I'm like, no, I'm just thinking of the name. I don't think I actually smell Captain Crunch. But definitely the raspberry and the chocolate is exactly what I'm, smelling in this beer. Oh wow. Wow, and once again, same thing as I said. What I smelled is not what I tasted on the palate. In fact, what I tasted, imagine, just to get it out, it tastes like blueberries. And not sweet blueberries, like actual blueberries, like cold blueberries. That's what this beer tasted like, or tastes like. Wow. And surprisingly, there's not a lot of flavor in this beer. Despite the nose, being very fragrant with the blueberries and the chocolate, very sweet on the nose. The beer itself, the flavor is quite pale. It's quite lacking. And all I taste is just, I don't know the word I want to use. I really don't know the word I want to use. I mean, there's a slight bitterness there. It tastes like a medium-bodied, like blueberry juice, maybe, but like diluted. With that being said, this is another summer-style refreshing beverage. Maybe even possibly spring. I mean, the gentleman, the server, he did say that, as the weather warms up, they're trying to bring out more fruity beers, and that's surprisingly what I got. That's just what my eyes was attracted to. And so I think this beer would actually be great during the, when the weather's warm. I mean, and with it only being at 4.9%, it is a very light beer. I mean, the finish isn't necessarily great, at least to my liking. It is, like I said, I want to say slightly bitter on taste there. But, I mean, it's not a bad beer. I think there's definitely a time for it, and right now it's a little chilly outside, so I would say that this is probably not the best weather for this beer. But if you're hot, I think this beer would definitely be for you. I'm not even sure if I can give a rating for this beer, especially since I think it's definitely a situational beer. And there are beers that are like that, right? When it's cold, you're going to want a medium to full-bodied beer. When it's, hot, you're going to want a light beer. And definitely, I think that the selection of beers that I have here, let me see if I can get that on, I'm not sure if I can get it. I might have to, I might have to stop the video and then change the camera view. With the beers that I have, the first two, the Tapenator and Professional Lover, were both medium-bodied beers, right? And then the Beardliner, and the Brewberry Crunch were both light-bodied beers. So I think it was pretty diverse for the most part. Yeah, I think that's it. Wow, these beers are really hitting me. These beers are really hitting me. I'm gonna eat these blueberries, you guys. So. Oh yeah. You know what I think would have made this beer a little bit better in taste? Made it a little bit sweeter. Is if they actually muddle the blueberries in the glass, because the beer itself, I was just getting, it's almost like cucumber water, right? You just put the cucumbers in the water. You're not actually doing anything with the cucumbers. You're just putting them in the water, and it's just infusing. But you're kind of almost like a seltzer. You're just getting the aroma, for lack of a better term, the oils, for lack of a better term, of the vegetable, of the fruit. But if you actually muddle it, like what you would do with a mojito or the cherries in an old-fashioned, you're actually bringing out that sweetness, from the fruit. And I think that is what definitely needed to be done in the Brewberry Crunch. I think that would have made it so much better. So we're just going to go ahead and finish these 3 beers, and then I'm going to decide where I'm going to go next. And yeah. Definitely don't go from the sweet ones to the Tapenator. Wow, very contrasting in taste. going from straight sweet to bitter. No, I would definitely don't recommend it. Do not recommend it. Wow. So, fun fact, you guys. Fun fact I learned today. Apparently, West Lafayette used to be called Chauncey, or Chauncey, however you want to pronounce it. Excuse me. At least as far as like how my wife described it, she calls it Chauncey Hill. And I think in 1888? No, 1886. I guess when this area was founded, it was called Chauncey, and then was it 1886? I'm sorry, it was 1866 is when it was founded. If I'm wrong on that, I will post it somewhere at the bottom of the screen or somewhere over here. And then then in 1888 they changed the name to West Lafayette. So fun fact for you guys. Also, another weird thing too is when I was trying to figure out things to do today on the website, right? I went to things to do in West Lafayette, things to do in downtown Lafayette, and the URL is home of Purdue. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I guess make of that as you will. The bugs are out. We're out. It's a beautiful day. The insects also know that it's a beautiful day. So yeah, I think that's it for this beer review. We are going to move on. So I'll see you guys once I decide what my next plan is.
So I ended up actually going back to the hotel mainly because it was getting a little cold, and so I figured I'd warm up. But unfortunately, that's when the tooth pain started hurting, which I spoke about in my snow day video. But thankfully, I've gotten that taken care of. But I mean, hell, I need quite a lot of dental work. Hopefully, I'll be able to afford to do that in the future. But anyways, I hope you guys appreciate this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button. All my social media and stuff is down in the description. But leave you guys off. Cheers, slancha, salud, na zdrovia, skol, pros, peace out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.